Entertainment news today is such a dragon gay. Everything sucks and it's no good that comes out of Hollywood. But there's one place you can go to get all your news and info, and maybe even have a laugh or two. You know it's true. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark. All those bombs and flops, but Mead never stops. We will keep going through the night as we keep up the culture fight. Midnight's Edge after dark is life. We stand for nerds and geeks, we will survive. From Star Wars to Jurassic Park, it's Midnight's Edge after dark.
Greetings and welcome everybody to Midnight's Edge After Dark, your favorite YouTube show, whether you like it or not. I'm Tom Connors. We have Neek Weiser here. How you doing, Neek?
Hey, Tom, how you doing? Good to see ya. KCC, hello, and hello to our excellent chat. Thank you all for being here. Let's go.
Indeed. We also have Cece here, as you pointed out, from Canadia. We forgive him for that.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. They got all these heat warnings here because we're in the middle of this like scorching heat wave. Temperature is dared to get into the 80s Fahrenheit. I guess by our
That's a
Canadian
heat wave for you?
What's enough for them to issue heat warnings around here? Yeah.
Fuck, we don't get that in Wisconsin unless it starts hitting like 99, 100.
Yeah, so we're pretty soft up here.
I'd say. Shit. Fucking Upers. Anyway, we have a super chat from FKHC 2005 who sends us some love for clobbering time. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. And speaking of love, that segues nicely into our first topic of the day. We're not going to waste any time here, folks. King of the Hill. The revival is doing great for Disney. Surprise, surprise, or no surprise. It hits 4.4 million views in 1 week. Disney's biggest adult animated premiere in 5 years. King of the Hill may have been off the air for 15 years, but its audience hasn't gone anywhere. Mike Judge and Greg Daniels' beloved adult animated sitcom was revived for a 14th season that premiered on Hulu on August 4th, and the first episode reached 4.4 million views in the first 7 days of streaming. That total, calculated by dividing total number of time watched divided by the episode runtime, makes it the most watched adult animated season premiere across Hulu and Disney Plus in 5 years. Additionally, the season premiered at number 1 on Hulu's top 15 and has remained among the top 5 titles since then, with the series overall occurring more than 1 billion hours streamed to date across Hulu and Disney Plus. Revival also majorly renewed interest in previous seasons of King of the Hill, according to Disney. Seasons 1 through 13 have grown in viewership by 26 million hours, or by 41% increase in viewership since buzz around season 14 kicked off in early March. Disney is also touting the show's success on social media, where it has accrued more video views than any other Hulu original comedy this year, and driven more engagements, shares, and new followers than any of this year's first season Hulu originals. So that includes stuff like Murders in the Building and stuff like that. That's pretty good. King of the Hill originally aired on Fox from 1997 to 2009, and its final 4 episodes airing in syndication in 2010. The revival is officially ordered at Hulu in January of 2023, though there had been chatter about bringing the show back as early as 2017. Season 14 has been received positively, achieving 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. So there you go. And I mean, you put something out there people enjoy, and somebody like Mike Judge, who doesn't go overly woke or anything like that, and guess what happens? People tune in. So Nick, have you had an opportunity to check out any of these episodes yet?
Not yet. I've been having a very action-packed week, and not the good kind of action. So I'm hoping to finally settle down maybe tomorrow afternoon and actually try to catch a few episodes, because I do want to watch this. I'm heavily interested.
Yeah. Well, and Paulie's not wrong. 4 million isn't anything really to brag about, but it is kind of in today's day and age.
Isn't
in comparison
that
to a lot of
sad?
other shit.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Right.
That's Paulie's got a point with that comment. It's sad that these numbers have the expectation has been lowered, and that's now considered the new acceptable, if you will.
Yeah. CC, you haven't got a chance to check it out either yet, have you?
No, I've been working on my channel a little extra hard the last few days, and by the time I saw the news story, I was like, I should probably watch it. Oh, Mead's on in an hour. I don't have time to watch it, so I haven't watched it yet. But
He could have got an episode or two, but yeah.
yeah,
Did I ever tell you about my drinking game I've always wanted to play with King of the Hill?
No, but I almost thought you were about to say, did I ever tell you about my drinking problem for a second there?
I only drink like once or twice a week.
Let me guess, you drink every time he goes, I'll tell you what.
No, I always had this game where I always want to take a shot every time Hank Hill says propane.
Oh, that might get you pretty fucked up.
I know.
I was saying, he probably says that almost more than he does. Tell you what, because even in the new series, like there's times where he throws it in there on purpose.
Propane.
And I mean, I tell you what thing, but yeah.
Is it 2 drinks because he says propane and propane accessories?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a good point.
That's gonna make it real hard.
Accessories. Yeah, and the episode where he the king the episode where they go to Bobby's restaurant, you'll be dead by the end. Because the whole point of the episode is he initially thought Bobby was going to use propane, but of course Bobby uses charcoal. Mm-hmm. And when Hank finds out, he's all disappointed in Bobby. He's like, we spent some of the greatest hours together on the phone going over all the great possibilities of propane and propane accessories. The whole thing. So yeah, no, I can recommend it. It's a good show. See, I've always liked King of the Hill, but I've always been more partial to Beavis and Butthead and Judge's more wacky humor. Like I get King of the Hill, but it's got a very southern speed to the humor. Does that make sense? It's very slow. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say.
So I mean, you have watched a few episodes then, because I was.
Oh yeah. I've seen like 6 episodes now of the new stuff, and even the classic show is the same thing, right? Like it pretty much picks up right where I mean, even though it's been this many years, and it puts that into the story that Peggy and Hank have been out of the country for the last few years, and that's kind of plays into the return of Hank Hill, and in that I found it just fine. But like I said, it's just got a slowness to the humor. It's got a southern style to the humor, and it always has, right? It's nothing new for the show. It's always been that way. So yeah. But anyway, were you going to say something else or ask something else, CC?
Well, I was going to say, how does Dale Gribble sound? Because I don't know how you can replicate that.
He's my biggest complaint. Like when he's just talking regularly, he's fine. But whenever he gets into conspiracy Dale, it sounds like there's something off, right? Yeah. Like when he's just talking to Hank like this, it's fine. But when he goes into conspiracy Dale, it doesn't have the same kind of ring to it. It's just, there's something about it that's off. But other than that, like for the most part, most people won't even notice. Right. I'm just one of those people that notices little things like that. But no, overall, I thought it was fine so far. It has a lot of laughs in it. It's just, if you enjoyed the original show and you know what to expect, then you're probably going to be happy with it. It does take on some woke culture so far that I've seen, but not like a ton. but in little ways that are kind of funny, and in some ways kind of like the last episode I watched was kind of about open relationships, for instance, right? One of the more modern dating things. But by the end of the episode, it kind of leaves you in a position where the character that introduces the idea doesn't really seem so keen on it after they're faced with it in a different situation, if that makes sense. I don't want to give away the show.
The
But
show
yeah.
was always rooted a bit in the difference between Hank and Bobby. And there was always, Hank is very clearly a much more conservative person than Bobby. So I don't think it's out of range for the show to tackle that as long as
Yeah.
it's done,
If you're able to, Brahma, hop in here. I think you got the link. You're in the group, I think. But yeah, you were saying, sorry, C.
No, I was just saying it's always rooted in the show in a respectful way. So I don't.
What's funny
mind
about
them
this is how much
utilizing that. Yeah.
is how much Bobby is kind of turning into or realizing he is like his dad, but in his own way. Does that make sense?
No,
Is
that's
that-
actually that's a good
Tons of
story beat.
sense.
Yeah.
Because he's not into the same things as his father, but as the show's going along and Bobby is kind of becoming a focal point of some of the episodes I'm watching, I'm starting to notice that he has his own ways built in, but the older he is, obviously now, the more he's like Hank, right? Like he sees things in one certain way and it's difficult for him to kind of wrap his head around other things. And like Hank, 9 times out of 10, he's right. like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a weird way of looking at it, but
That's all right. I would prefer charcoal over propane.
I mean, that's just one example of the shows, but like there's other things in the shows where like he just, like I said, again, he's the character that's kind of faced with the open relationship concept, and how he reacts to it and how it resolves with him is how I would have pictured that would have happened with, and they even have a side story with Hank dealing with a similar issue. It's a very clever show. I mean, as Mike Judge is always very clever, right? Like arguably probably one of the greatest television and film writers of all time, right? Like, I mean, I was even having a mini spat with Yellow Flash in the chat about Beavis and Butthead. He's like, oh, they only really work in 15-minute spurts. I said, I reject your hypothesis. Beavis and Butthead Do America is amazing.
I
And so
second
isn't
that. Okay.
yeah, like,
Beavis and Butthead Do America, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
yeah.
I've done binge watches of Beavis and Butthead throughout many years of my living experience. And it's gone far beyond 15 minutes. So, yeah, I'm with you there, man.
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead is fantastic.
And basically, Beavis and Butthead is not the antithesis, but it is basically King of the Hill, but from the teenage boy perspective, right? Like, it's it's kind of hard to explain, but like, it's very much in that same way that Beavis and Butthead just kind of live their lives the same way Hank does, and whatever to them is like, it's either cool or it sucks, right? Like, they're not as deep as Hank, but neither is Hank in some respects sometimes. So like, yeah. Yeah. The newer one is actually pretty good, FKHC 2005, and I do recommend it if you're going to watch the new episodes
Watch
because it
it.
does set them up.
Because it sets up the new season. It's called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. There's this great scene where they go to a modern college, and that's all I'm gonna leave it at. And you're gonna like hold on to your butt, dude, so you don't like crap everywhere because it is hilarious.
You said butt and crap.
Would.
Would. We got white privilege.
Dude. Oh man, I thought I was gonna die. Like I'm like
That is
I'm like,
the best
I
scene in the whole
think I remember like messaging Clawby. I'm like, dude, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack.
It's okay. We got white privilege. It's okay.
It's so good. And Clawby loved it too. He's like, dude, this is too much. I was like, I know.
Yeah, and I love because it's like, and what I'm saying is you gotta watch it because it sets up the show. Because in the new episodes, unlike the older ones, it does explain how come there's basically 3 different versions of Beavis and Butthead. Because that was one thing that the revival episode from the mid-aughts or whatever it was that kind of missed out on is they just had Beavis and Butthead the same as they were. They just haven't aged in 10, 15 years. But now they've addressed that. And not only have they aged in some respects, because you have the old Beavis and Butthead in the alternate universe, you still have the young Beavis and Butthead that are now misplaced into this timeline. and you also have smart Beavis and Butthead. So like, it is a riot. And if you haven't seen them yet, do yourselves a favor, because the third season starts next month, I think it is.
September 3rd.
That's right. I was gonna say it's not too far off. So yeah, I can't wait to check that out. So yeah, as Mecha J pointed out here too. So yeah, so I can recommend this, and I'm sure we'll get a lot more seasons of King of the Hill now that this has been a success. And I'm glad to see Mike Judge back to work, doing what he does best. So congratulations, guys, on the success, or perceived success at least, of King of the Hill. So any other thoughts on King of the Hill?
I got nothing for now, but I
You know
can't
what?
wait to watch it and have some propane.
15 years away might actually be helping here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic, but if it was like Family Guy or The Simpsons, where it's just going on and on to its 30th season at this point, or whatever, I don't know if it would be as sharp as it is. So it's purely speculation, but yeah, I'm glad we're getting some nice things.
Indeed. And then we got Action Com, who says Star Trek with puppets. Well, we've already seen that. Pigs in space. It's like they forgot already. Yeah, I know what you're getting at there. Fucking Star Trek. We put up a Star Trek video today on the main channel. Check it out if you haven't yet. But yeah.
Oh, the whole thing with Bakula?
No, well, we mentioned that in there, but it's more so about Kurtzman. But
right.
Yeah. Speaking of returns, like King of the Hill, somebody was King of the Hill for the longest time there in the 90s and early aughts was Mr. Johnny Depp. And he may return finally as Jack Sparrow. So we got this news later this afternoon here. Actually, this morning, I guess, according to this. But it would have been close to our afternoon. But it sounds like Johnny Depp has been in actual talks. And he likes the part the way it's written, and they think he will do it. Who is this? Well, that is Jerry Bruckheimer, of course. If you don't recognize the name, you should.
Oh, I recognize
You've definitely
that
seen
name.
his work. Yes, indeed, for the last 40, 50 years. Johnny Depp is possibly eyeing a return as Jack Sparrow in the sixth Pirates of the Caribbean movie, at least according to franchise producer Jerry Bruckheimer in a new interview with Entertainment Weekly. Bruckheimer confirmed he has spoken to Depp about a new Pirates movie. I was doing so good till then. Producer feels optimistic that Jack Sparrow could be back. If he likes the way the part's written, I think he would do. Oh, okay. So he didn't say that. If he did say that. Okay. I missed that part. If he likes it. Well, he better. No, just kidding. They're going to rewrite it otherwise. I would think he would do it, Bruckheimer said to EW. It's all about what's on the page, as we all know. We are still working on a screenplay. We want to make it. We just got to the right screenplay. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but we're close. So there you go. So this means probably that their all-female version is dead. D-E-D. So yeah, Depp may be making a comeback. So the headline made it sound more positive than it really is here, I guess, but I don't think that there's a world that exists where Johnny Depp doesn't return at least one more time as Jack Sparrow. What do you guys think? CC or Nick, go ahead.
I could see it happening. I really can. I mean, he got himself uncanceled. He's one of the first few men in public who won an argument against a woman. That's breaking new ground. And now he gets to have one more shot at doing Jack Sparrow. Obviously, he's always loved the role, regardless of his sentiments towards Disney. I'm sure bygones can be bygones, especially if he's working the people that he knows and trusts. He can most definitely do that, and I'm sure he's aware. He's definitely, his age is starting to show a lot more in the last few years, and I'm sure it had something to do with that trial, probably really wearing him down. I'm sure his body's got in him for maybe one more. If he tries doing two, oh boy, he's gonna be hitting some Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones territory and start getting injured first week on set. But I could see him doing one more and surviving in one piece. After that, we're going to Well, I hope he doesn't start needing a walker. But yeah, let's see how this goes. I think it's inevitable.
I think the challenge here is that the IP is a mess. I mean, as a trilogy, even the third one, but even as a trilogy, it was fine. But now there's been more movies and a lot of confusion. And it's like, if people feel like they're going to have to do the homework, if people are kind of lost on where the story is at, it's going to turn them off. So I do
that's
think,
easy, CC. They could just be like, oh, pretend the last two movies didn't happen.
yeah, I was going to say, but they have to find a way to communicate that to the prospective audience when they market this thing. They're going to have to really make it clear that this is a standalone story. Like, center in on Johnny Depp, which and like, if he's got to say on the script, sometimes it's a bad thing, but in this case, I think it's a good thing that he can demand a little bit of quality, whatever fits him, so that he can have fun with it. But they're gonna have to market this thing correctly, for it to, yeah. I would actually market this around Johnny Depp, and that it's him on a whole new thing.
The upside of this is, I think by the time they'll get a lot of this in motion, Bob Iger should, for all intent and purposes, be retired. And most of the people that had anything to do with the whole Johnny Depp thing over at Disney would probably be gone. And Bruckheimer spoke on his behalf at the trial. So we have all those things that play into this. And I know Depp has expressed that he would never return to work for Disney again, but that usually only matters when those people that have fired you are no longer part of that company anymore, right? Like, I see him working at Warner Brothers again at some point in the future, because 99% of the people that that were working there when they fired him over the Harry Potter crap are gone, right? I mean, I'm honestly surprised they didn't offer him some sort of like, like role in the TV series, to be honest with you. But that's just me. But no, I see this as an obvious. I think it's going to happen one way or another. I think it's inevitable. It's the way Johnny Depp actually kind of, and I'm sure he knows this, because once he dons this costume again on the big screen, it's a big W for him. It's a bigger W than Gina at this point, unless Gina gets to don, her costume once again to return. Like, that's kind of the big win for these guys, is when the companies have to admit defeat and actually bring back the people want to see, right? So in this case, I see this as a huge win for Johnny. I see this as a huge win for Pirate 6, and I think Jerry Bruckheimer is the only guy who could probably facilitate something like this. So we'll see. As far as the alpaca thing, I don't even understand that. I'm sure there's some kind of inside joke there that I just didn't get, and most of us didn't, perhaps. But, so yeah. And I mean, at this point, to do a movie like this without passing the torch on with Johnny is just stupid for the franchise. You have to find somebody who can, make the audience just as excited as Johnny, but also be somebody they can accept taking on the mantle from that character. And I just don't see that happening anytime soon unless you find the right person, right? Like, who knows? Maybe they'll think of Timothy Chalamet to come in as an illegitimate son, and that's kind of what the movie's about. Perhaps that would work. I don't know. But you get my drift.
There's only one Johnny Depp.
Unfortunately, you're not wrong. I mean, I'm just saying, or fortunately, one way or the other. But if there's anybody who's even come close to him at this point, and I've even made comparisons to him, it has been Timothy Chalamet. It's kind of ironic because years ago he played Edward Jr. in Edward Scissorhands' Super Bowl commercial, and I'd forgotten all about it. And that was after I'd started making that comparison, because they remind me of the same kind of guy. Like, they're very much chameleons when they get into their roles, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I know he still loves the character. Last I knew, he still dresses up as the character and shows up at children's hospitals and stuff like that. So I don't think he's retired the character in any way yet. But I agree with Nick. He's not getting any younger. So in the next few years, you got to do this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If this is going to come out, he needs to get this out within the next 5 years. Like, because seriously, like, once again, I don't necessarily blame him because one, age is just it's a thing. A, B, prior to that trial, he was aging, I guess you could say, as a guy would his age. But man, that trial, I mean, he looked exhausted even on day one of that trial. Like you could tell the age really caught up to him in the last few years, and that probably is what was the match that sparked the fire for his aging. So, yeah, if he's gonna do it, this is the time because otherwise, it's just gonna end up once again being the whole Indiana Jones thing of first week on set injury already. Here we go. Granted, no, the rule's not as physically demanding, but still, shit breaks, man. When you're old,
It can be in some ways if you think about it.
Yeah,
He's 62.
yeah.
I mean, he's doing a lot of the same kind of stunts that Harrison Ford would be doing, the running, the jumping. And not only that, you add in an extra level where he's just doing his standard shtick. Where how many times is that actually a stunt in and of itself? Right? Like I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is that boat sinking when he's walking. He walks right onto the pier. Like that's Johnny Depp doing that shit. I mean, like, that's a stunt, folks. That was not like, if that something went wrong, he could have got hurt. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's all, mechanical and all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like they sank a boat and he had to do it timed perfectly. Yes, it was a mechanically timed, probably like swivel head thing that's timed to his weight or something like that, and it will stop where it's supposed to stop. But I mean, he still had to master that, and that's like a stunt in and of itself if you think about it. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff in the movie. Like, yes, we think about when, the swashbuckling and the jumping around and the, the cannonball explosions and the sword fights. But there's much more to that when it comes to this character because he's a very animated character. And there's a lot of shit that he's doing all the time that's just built into his shtick that's also kind of a stunt. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from, Nick. He's got to be careful with somebody his age. You don't want to hurt him.
Yeah, I am like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not interested in if he did it. I would be kind of intrigued, but yeah, he definitely needs to take this seriously. And I would imagine a guy like him, he doesn't seem like a stupid guy. I would imagine this is something that is weighing on him to a degree. Is hey, I said what I said then, in the court, in the heat of the moment with a lot of passion going on. But, some temperatures have cooled down, I'm sure. Since then, it's been, 2-3 years since that trial ended? I would imagine, like, there's just that, okay, what if I just did that one more time? I still got a little bit left in the tank. Because after that, he's either got to hang up the gig or maybe do some more easier, less physically demanding roles.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see what happens here, but I think this is inevitable. What do you guys think out there in the chat? Let us know. So yeah, other than that, I didn't really have any more big stories. So you guys out there, is there anything going on you want to hear us talk about?
Whip it out.
It was kind of a slow news day, at least from what I could tell.
And there was all that Bo bringing the mayo, but no, that's
yeah, we got a video coming about that. That's true. I mean,
there was some spicy stuff and all that.
That's true. I mean, we could talk a little bit about that because I mean, honestly, what's funny about that is how much of that shit he was talking about that he kind of confirmed of what we had been reporting on, and he even posted some more stuff since the initial things.
Like if you dig into like he replied to everybody who was replying to his post, and there's even better stuff in the replies.
Because he said here, like, I got scolded once for emailing Kevin and the Marvel execs because my email started greeting executives, and executives was written with like an X, like X-Men.
Wow. Dude, man. Yeah, that is definitely that. Let's see. Yeah, I saw some of his posts on that. I'm like, wow, we're getting more discovery out of Bo DeMaio with this than we are from Lucas.
You got a point there. So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, CC. I don't know if you had more to say.
Well, no, I mean, I as a fan, I just love seeing somebody go scorched earth finally on all this crap. And I think his position is not necessarily a bad one. It's like, given what they did to him, like, what has he got left but to defend his his life. Like, he's basically, he got put out to pasture pretty hard there with the way they, the whole OnlyFans debacle and all of that. Disney pulled a Disney on him, basically, right? So
Mhm.
he,
That's
he figured
unfortunate.
he figured the only recourse he had at this point was to lay everything on the table, and I respect it.
He must have not
After
agreed
reading
to
all
an
that,
NDA.
I was like, you know what,
Um,
I totally respect this.
I'm sure there was something to it, but isn't he like? I mean, I'm not sure how long it lasted. That's a good point. Um,
Because I mean, one of the comments on his post was like, this is career word I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, and he was like, well, I don't have a career left now, anyways, thanks to everything that was
mhm.
thrown at me. So,
So let's break down like the basics. So what it started as is he was saying that when you're pitching a movie or an idea in Marvel offices, you're basically trying to search for what Kevin wants, and when you find it, you're more or less just dictating to him what he wants to hear, right? Or expected to just write down his ideas. And this goes along with what we had reported years ago, where we were hearing stuff like, basically a Marvel movie isn't decided by, somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I got this great idea. Let's put the Hulk and Thor together into a buddy cop movie." Right? Like, which would be, you would expect the pitch to be for Ragnarok, right? No, it's the other way around. It's more or less that Kevin Feige wants to do something with Planet Hulk and Thor Ragnarok, so he throws it at some writer who actually comes in with some other pitch that's remotely close to the tone that he's looking for, something like that, if that makes sense, right? And we've heard this time and time again where he doesn't want to hear pitches, he just wants to hear what he wants to do told to him, if that makes sense. And we got another Marvel guy coming in here. Mark, how you doing?
Hey, good. Great to see everyone. Yep, I was out buying some propane and propane accessories, so glad.
I'll tell you
glad
what.
to get.
So yeah, we're just talking about Bo DeMaio blowing the lid off of Marvel's bullshit, basically, and how they treat their creatives inside the writers' rooms and their pitches and their directors and all the stuff that we've been reporting for years turns out to be true, and in some cases is even
Bo
worse
did
than
a
we
lot of
thought.
blow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and initially everyone was kind of wary of him and his credentials and what's he going to do with X-Men '97, and people were worried about it. And it turned out great, and then all has been revealed, as you were just saying. Yeah, we're getting more discovery from this, and I think everyone has got to agree that first run of Marvel movies was phenomenal and groundbreaking. But sometimes it's time to go. Sometimes you've just been there too long, and you've got past success, but like a manager who gets fired. I mean, look at the Yankees these days, right? I mean, maybe he went to the World Series last year, but what have you done for me lately? So sometimes it's harsh, but when you've got a bad track record going, and the worst part of it is when they're telling you what how they despise people that read the comics and trying to bring up the comic book specific stuff and
Yeah,
that.
Louis Esposito doesn't
Ouch.
want to hear any comic book stuff because he doesn't
Oh my
like.
God.
It's like, how would he even know? You could pitch
Yeah.
him. You could pitch him something that's exactly as it is in the comics. Claim it's your idea. He would have no fucking idea.
Well, I got to see Ron Garney this weekend, and I can't say what he said to me, but I did get this signed about Muse. Well, I've got.
Nice.
I'm not sure how public he's been.
Oh,
but,
you and I gotta talk.
Well, we know
about
Rob
that.
Liefeld has and a few others, so yeah, we can only
Yeah,
imagine what he told you.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's gone public with certain things, so I don't want to get in trouble or say something I shouldn't. But that's the first appearance of Muse, so I got that signed. And of course, I was lucky. I got the stash of books, so I was able to find a bunch of Garney books. When you have like books that aren't in order or tagged, and I'm like, wow, I found, and that was the one I was looking for, the first appearance of Muse. And I'll show this quick since you got.
Oh, those are good Daredevil comics.
Oh, those are great comics. Yeah, so I got to meet John Wesley Shipp, and he's a guy
Nice.
that maybe get on the show to talk physical media because the new Flash Blu-ray. He was like talking to me like for a long time, and I'm like, you got a lot of people that want to talk to you. Super nice guy, and about how they did all the effects over for the Flash Blu-ray. So he was super nice to talk to. So, and of course I got to meet Karen Allen, which was great, and I got Where's my? Oh, here, I got this signed. Well, I posted this on Twitter, but
Ooh,
I
you
know I'm
just don't
diverging
stop
from
whipping
X-Men
it out.
'98, but this was this is an awesome to get this get this signed. So this was a promotional giveaway. So this was given out. My dad's friend gave it to me, and he said he thought it was like the first 100 people at the movie theater in Dallas. I don't know if they did this across the country or just a few theaters, but he was at Indiana Jones opening night in 1981, and they gave out the soundtrack album. So it says promotional copy on the back, which is really cool.
Right,
So it was
basically
awesome
like you
to-
would get at a radio station, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So this is just.
I actually have a
awesome to
reproduction of that soundtrack split up over 2 records.
So yep, this is going up on my wall again. Yeah. So great soundtrack. Soundtrack. Of
Was that
course,
one
but
2 records too, or was it just one?
This is just the one. Just the one.
Yeah, because I think what
record,
they did is they either added a bunch more to it, or they did it at like 45 RPM speed. One of the two, I can't remember which, but it's on like 2 big fat ass 180 gram records. Like, yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, and thank you for coming on the Sunday Night Geekery to talk about.
Yeah, no problem.
Comic-Con.
Sounds
We'll
like
do
you
it
had a
next
good
Sunday,
time
too.
there.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, yep. So I'll tell you what Ron said after the show.
No problem. And then Jeremiah Embry says, "Can you please talk about how they're getting wrong with the Superman release? I don't know what's going on." I agree, because I was being told by people they were going to hold off on it. So my guess is Valiant Renegade's right, and some stupid number cruncher in some executive fucking position probably said, we're going to make a bunch more money if we put it out on PVOD now, as opposed to wait till our normal 45-day window or longer. And to me, it just makes no sense whatsoever. You should have kept this movie in theaters longer. There's nothing else really coming out to compete with it, at least in the grand scheme of things, for a while. You could have left it in the theaters until at least October, right? Like, at this point, James Gunn is just making stupid fucking choice after stupid fucking choice, because then he announces this after he was the one who said it was not going to be on streaming before Peacemaker. And they just announced, I think he was the one who announced it himself, that it was coming out the 26th and not the 15th. So what the fuck are they doing? I don't understand.
581 million. That's the box office worldwide for it right now,
Yeah, this is just
as far
dumb.
as I can see.
Dumb. I mean,
So
at least
I remember us a couple weeks back on Mead guessing at what it was going to make, and we were thinking maybe it'd get towards 700. Well,
yeah.
good luck now.
Yeah, they just killed that momentum at any shot at it. I mean, granted, it didn't have the international support they were hoping for, but this ain't gonna help that. This is just gonna put it out on stream on the pirate sites even sooner now, in a better quality version that's already out there. And I know I'd heard they were kind of pissy that a good quality version did kind of leak out there, even though it's not like a straight up file.
It did. It did. I can't tell you how I know, but it did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had enough people tell me about it. What it is I think an AI upconvert of a cam, but it's a very good
Probably,
cam.
yeah. And the audio is very good too. And usually the audio is what kills those things that are going
Yeah.
to make them run. And of course, yeah, go to the movie theater and support all these creators and hard workers. So, but people unfortunately just wait till streaming. So to announce the movies going out of the movie, I'll just wait another week. Who cares? You know, a couple weeks. Who, you know, at this point, who cares, right? You know, once you're past that opening night excitement. So it's just shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, it's Compact Computers famously announced their new model, and it turned out there were delays, and the new model ended up being like 8 months away or 9 months away or whatever it was, and tanked all their sales because everyone was, well, I'm going to wait till the new one comes out. I'm not going to buy this.
And this is an oddball release for them to do it on digital on a Friday. That's normally a big no-no. Normally they release digital on Tuesdays, just like they did home video. Because for those who don't know, this is something that was a big taboo when I worked in video. On all ends of it, was you did not put out movies other than on a Friday on video, because it kills any potential box office you may have going on in the box office. Because this hit a big fucking point where everybody got pissed off at DreamWorks when they dropped the original Shrek on home video. I think the same day. What was it? Toy Story or one of the Pixar movies dropped in theaters. They dropped the home video of Shrek the same fucking day, and Disney lost their minds. The industry thought it was a very low blow play, because nobody else had ever done that before.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's just, and that's why I didn't believe the August 15th date to begin with, besides the shit I was hearing, because I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. It's a fucking Friday. Why would you release it on a fucking Friday?
How many days after its release is that?
Now they're at
August 15th, so how
35 days as opposed to the normal 45 that Warner Brothers
many- Oh,
technically
Jesus.
does.
Well,
Yeah,
my-
so
Who
this
did
is
35?
stupid.
Who did 35?
Warner. They're putting this out on streaming 35 days from release, basically. That's the 15th. If they had waited till the 26th, it would have been the 45 days.
Wow, that's mentally retarded.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, and this goes
Especially
against
since they're
everything I
close
heard.
to 600. They're close to 600 million. This might straight up kill those chances of that being 600 million. Like, because I was thinking,
Yeah.
okay, they'll probably come around 620, 630, probably be 590 now.
Some
with them
idiot
doing this.
Some idiot
does
did
the-
some numbers and crunched it and said they'll do better on PVOD and or convince somebody that Peacemaker season 2 would do better if they put this out first. That's
Oh
what I'm
my
thinking.
God. What?
Because John Cena's in it for 5 seconds.
No, well, because one of the things James Gunn was asked before, and this is how before this is what makes no sense to anybody that this is dropping now, is he said that no, Superman was not going to be on streaming or video on demand before Peacemaker, because initially I was hearing the same fucking thing. They were thinking about holding it out for the full 90 days.
Stupid.
God.
What a
Yeah, because
terrible
no one's. I mean,
move.
but does that VOD on demand money count as like a ticket purchase, or how do they?
Not the same, but it's more money in their pocket. See, this is a thing the industry is always getting in trouble, not in trouble for, but people kind of make a point of, is they never report, and this is especially when it comes to residuals, they never report the same kind of they don't consider it the same kind of money when it comes to home video, streaming rights, and all that kind of business as they do theatrical. So, like, they're going to make probably make a mint on this on streaming, don't get me wrong, because compared to a ticket sale, let's take, for instance, they get on, at best, 50% of a ticket sale, right? The average ticket sale is anywhere between $10 and $17 in most places, right? Depending on what you're going, if you're going to see it on IMAX, or you're going to see it in a regular theater. Now, when you buy this for on demand, on PVOD for the first few weeks when it's out, it's like $24.99 or whatever it is, right? My guess is Warner Brothers gets at least 80% or more of that. Because I bet you $5, Vudu or Amazon or whoever it is that you're using as a hub to buy these, they ain't keeping that much.
No, yeah.
Because we didn't even get that much of a price break on videos when they came out. Like, we were always underselling ourselves just to compete with Walmart and shit like that. Because it used to be, yeah, we could go closer. We could undersell the suggested retail price by like $5 back in the day. But once Walmart and shit came into the play, it was like, well, fuck this. We can't compete. We're lucky if we cleared $1 on most DVDs back in the day. Because that was how low the prices were at Walmart in comparison to what we were paying for them, and to sell them over, like, it's either overprice them to hell or undersell ourselves, basically. And they're considered a lot. And Best Buy did sell a lot of DVDs as loss leaders back in the day. I don't know if you guys know what that is out there in the chat, but it's pretty obvious from what from what it says. A loss leader is where you use a good sale that's going to cost you money in the long run to get people in the store to hope they buy something more expensive that does make you more money, right? So yeah, maybe they'll come in for the Ghostbusters DVD that came out this week, but maybe they'll buy the Golden Child and the Grinch that also came out this week. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I'm just looking at random titles on my fucking shelf right now.
Yeah,
That's
then
why
Mark
they're
goes to the
all
action
Jeeps,
figure.
but yeah.
Then I go to the action figure aisle and buy 4 more action figures I don't need, and yep, right? Yeah, they
Exactly. That was their hopes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you were the guy who actually wanted to come in because, this was the first time Jaws was on DVD and you're going to get a DVD player. So yeah, they'll definitely sell you Jaws at a loss because you're going to buy a fucking $200-$300 DVD player at the time.
Well, that's the great thing about stores too. I mean, as much as I like Amazon or online shopping, it's just never the same when you're browsing. Like going to a Comic-Con like over the weekend, it's like you see so much stuff and you're like, oh, I didn't know about that, or I want to buy that, or oh, that looks awesome.
I wonder if anybody's done a test like that, Mark, to see if people buy more stuff online or if they buy more stuff in a store when they're browsing. I bet you it's probably online, but
I mean, look, for me online, whenever I see something I'm interested in, I start looking at all the 1-star reviews. and all the horror stories. And I'm like, oh, wait, I don't want this. So I end up turning myself off of everything I want to buy. Maybe I'm unusual, but I don't know. Online does have has user response, right? In store, it's just, you can look at it, you can touch it.
That's my issue too. Is like online, I'm very leery about what I buy compared to in a store. Like I see something in a store, I grab it. It's like chances are, I'm not putting it back. You know what I mean? Like I sit there and hover. Like I got shit in my cart all the time on Amazon, not just because I'm broke and I can't afford it, but because I'm just like I don't know. Because I end up sending a lot of shit, unless it's a movie. 9 times out of 10, I end up sending half the shit back for whatever reason because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like, okay, for instance, I'm getting ready to do this trip with to go out and visit Mikey here in the next couple weeks, and I noticed, I haven't traveled in a long time, so I don't have the type of shit I need to travel. So, I'm getting some things, and I'm like 2 of the bags that I've bought so far, I've had to send back to Amazon already because they weren't what I thought they were.
Well, that's the size, right? The size. Whenever you order something online, you have no idea
as it composed to, like, I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I'm just going to have to go to a store and find what I want.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I'm not finding what I want. It's not fitting what I want. Like, okay, so I'm just going to have to go to the store and find something that just is the right size. I know in my head mentally what I need, right? It's just not computing on the screen. I don't know. You get exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, that being said, as far as Superman, though, yeah, this is just silly to me. I don't know why they're doing this. They're even putting it out on a day when they have a Fathom event of Ninja Turtles going on at the same time, so they're competing with themselves.
Morons.
I don't even know what else comes out this weekend, but still, this is a stupid move. But, yeah, I don't have much else to say about that.
Digital release or theatrical release, you talk about what comes out. I mean,
yeah, theatrical.
Nobody 2, which I can't wait to see Thursday.
And who produced that?
I just know there's action.
I think that's Sony.
I don't know who produced it.
No, I think it's a Sony picture, but yeah.
I'm going in there to watch the action. Story? What the hell's that crap? Beat the crap out of some bad guys.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Jeremiah Hembry, for being a member. And then we got Connor Dorian, or Charlie Manx, who says Alien TV series premieres tonight with 2 episodes. Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you know
I have
what?
very little interest
Alien
in
Earth, is that called? Or?
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see if all of the manufactured hoopla is anything close to accurate. Because they're trying to pump it up as being actually really good, right?
Yeah, they played some weird mind games with us. They've said, it has nothing to do with Ridley Scott's movies, but then again, it's set in the same world as Romulus. But it's like, yeah, but Romulus was set in the same world as the Ridley Scott movies. Yeah,
same crap. It's in the same continuity. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it's not.
That's basically it, Nick. Exactly, because it's like, well, is it or isn't it? Because I haven't watched Romulus yet, but everybody's told me that, oh yeah, it's still in the same continuity as Prometheus and Covenant. And I'm like, well, fuck that.
My theory is
the line.
My theory is it was never written to be in continuity, but if it seems to, let's just say, do well, people seem to like it, they're gonna then take all the credit and say, oh yeah, it was canon all along. They don't want to count it as canon. I wouldn't have a problem unless it does well.
I wouldn't have a problem with it being aliens on Earth if it was like set, dozens of years or a couple years after the last few films, to where it's like, okay, now there's a reason for it. This being a prequel makes zero fucking sense. Just kind of like the Alien versus Predator movies. It just doesn't make sense that.
Is it going to be like a First Contact where they like defeat the aliens like Star Trek? They defeated the Borg in the past, and then it's just like an isolated incident, or is it going to be like the aliens take over the Earth? I would assume it has to be like an isolated, because okay, at least AVP, they set the main story in the Arctic or wherever to where you could kind of, okay, so the company knows about these creatures, but nobody else does. Okay, fine. Same thing with the second one. As bad as that one is, the AVP sequel. They at least set it in this town that's like quarantined off from the rest of the world. So like there's plausibility that there was deniable things happening there and the company would try to cover it up. Okay, fine.
but we're going for a third shot now. And this is also set in this, because Romulus was also technically a prequel to Alien, or a sequel prequel thingy. I don't know, in between, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, so like it takes place, I think, after Alien, but right after Alien or something like that. Like I can't remember. Anyway, because I think Ash is in it, but then also it does actually. I don't know. Fuck, I need to watch that stupid thing, even though I don't want to, just so I know what I'm talking about. But as far as Alien Earth, yeah, I don't know if I'll get to that anytime soon because of the fact that I haven't watched Romulus yet, but it sounds like CC might check it out, so we'll have to see what he says.
I might actually check it out. I mean, I like the art design. That's all I can really tell about it so far, and I'm so starved for good art design these days. Maybe I'll watch it and be like, this is shitty art design. I don't know. But I like the look of it from what I've seen. And I've just seen so much awful visual content in the last while. That's almost enough on its own. So I might, yeah.
And I'm with Reed here. Like, how have these franchises not seen the obviousness, right? Like Jurassic Park, we should have militarized dinos by now, right? Like, I mean, same thing with Aliens. Like, they should be more like Colonel Marines. It should basically just be a ripoff of Starship Troopers at this point. Like, go to the logical place. Terminator, same thing. Why are you not just doing movies that are set in the future? We know that future never happens or not going to happen. Doesn't matter. Just, you know, the obvious place we know you should go, but you don't do it. Like, this is where I don't get where there isn't that one guy in the office that finally goes, you know, really, the audience wants this. Like, I mean, is there really not those people anymore at all? Period? Anywhere? Like, have they all been wiped out by the woke mob? I don't get it. Like, there has to be some people with some common sense who want to make some money in Hollywood. Right? Like,
No.
besides David Zaslav, I mean, let's be real here. This does not make any sense at this point. Like, it's the obvious series would be we're going to do an alien series set in the future about the military guys going after colonies of aliens. Boom. There's your fucking series. How hard is that?
Well, they need it to be more complicated. The same way Feige can't just accept the concept of Blade just killing vampires. They always need to have their own weird spin on, well, it can't be simple like that. It's just
bullshit.
It has to be innovative.
Nick, they've made the same fucking movie 12 times now with Alien. They're all the fucking same. They're too afraid to get away from the mothership. Same thing with Terminator, right? It's like, just go. Get into the future. And you know, you're not wrong, Nick. It's the same goddamn thing with Ninja Turtles. It's like, how hard is it to make a simple fucking Ninja Turtle movie?
Yup. They seriously, they have so much of the blueprint set for them for all these franchises. And so they try to do everything in their power to avoid going to those blueprints. It's imagine like being like working on a construction building and you're given a blueprint like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do everything the opposite of making that building. That's what they want to do. They're trying to make a building like their own Sears Tower. Like,
so they're Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop 2. There's not supposed to be any right angles on this house. No right angles. This house would be a circle. These people want to live in a donut. Let them live in a donut.
That's what they are. They think that, okay, well, we can do this better, and we don't need to do any of those things. And obviously, when we were talking about Bo DeMaio earlier, same thing with the X-Men. These people are clearly very cocky. They think that they could do what they want with these stories, and because they practically own them, that whatever they do, that's what people eat up. And on top of it, they want to play it safe with everything because there's no creativity, originality, innovation are now being shamed on so we can recycle and re everything. It's insane.
It's true though. Like that scene in Beverly Hills Cop, these people get money and they go crazy. I'm gonna slip that in.
You're just convincing me to go watch Ash versus Evil Dead right now.
Oh God, yeah. Hey, I still have to finish watching that show. I bowed out when I found out they canceled it on me. I was pissed, so I never finished watching the show.
That's fair.
Well, I got something to watch at some point, I guess. I have all 3 seasons. I just haven't finished it.
But, speaking of a show that keeps it simple and
Yeah.
and on.
It was basically just what everybody has wanted for years,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Unfortunately,
monsters,
people
right?
had a hard time finding it because it was on fucking Stars, but
Yeah, that was, oh god, I don't know. Anyway,
We're lucky we got 3
But-
seasons of it, though. Yeah.
Stars let them film the show they wanted to film.
that's true. That's
So-
true. But it got canceled because of lack of, viewership, and I think that was one of the few shows that streaming hurt. Or, I mean,
Yeah, I was looking at that. They pulled they're
pirating
pulling
hurt,
150,000 people per episode.
a lot of
at the
people were
end there.
pirating that show because they didn't want to pay for Stars.
Yeah.
I
then-
was
then-
paying
yeah,
for
that's true,
Stars,
yeah.
but that was the only reason I was paying for Stars.
Well, the streaming stuff adds up too. You thought canceling your cable was cheaper, but then you add up all the. If you do have a bunch of these streaming packages, you forget, or you sign up for like the free month or free 90 days. I was paying for Apple Arcade or when I got a new iPad, you get 3 months free Apple TV, and then like 1 month I got hit with everything. Like, oh, MFers, I don't need this, but it was free, so I signed up for it, and that's what they're hoping, right?
So-
that you forget.
Something to be said for that, because I remember thinking, "Oh God, they're charging $100 a month now, and I get I get 100 channels for it. This is bullshit. This is really expensive. It's stupid." And it was, right? But that was like what? That's like $100 for a month for over 100 channels. That's like $1 a channel.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
You could usually find something to watch, even though we used to joke that 500 channels and there's nothing on. Now we long
Yeah,
for
well,
those
you got
days,
500
right?
channels at least.
Let's find something eventually. Joe Pat 87 says Tom previously called John Cusack a Lloyd Dobler. I did. I think it's what got me blocked by him. I think we should call Mark Ruffalo Matt Flumhalf. And while we're at it, only refer to Blue Sky by its initials. I can buy that. Matt Flamhalf. What movie was that you're referring to? I'm drawing a blank for some reason. Which?
We'll have to goggle it. Yep.
I am doing that.
He said
From-
goggle like Johnny Lawrence did.
Yeah.
Dreamhouse?
That one.
Is it, 13 going on 30? Is that what it was from? What? 13 going on 30. Oh, okay. Yeah. What do you do in that? I've never actually watched that movie because it looked like a chick flick.
It's kind of
So
one
I
of those
don't-
Freakier Friday things.
That's all I got from it. Yeah, and I know in more recent years, I think it had gotten some flack from the woke crowd a little bit, but yeah, talking about obscure, exactly. I don't remember him even being in it, let alone what he did in it. So, could be part of the point. Oh, okay, because that where he's that obscure. Okay, hey, I'll keep that one in my pocket though. It may get me blocked by Mark Ruffalo. Thanks, Joe Pat. And we appreciate the support. Yes, they did. That was what I was saying, Deeple. There was some stuff with that, and then they changed the name, and then there was a bunch of people raising a stink because I've not seen the film, but does she like kiss an adult in the movie or something like that as the Jennifer Garner character or something like that, to where people are like, kind of like, it's basically Big all over again. Because remember, people made a big fucking deal about Big back in the day, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he does get lucky, right? I mean,
Well, here's the thing, and this is why I call it the big problem. And Shazam had the same problem. The issue with this is when you have an adult actor, even fucking vice versa, and any other movie you compare these to, you notice this problem. Now that I say this, you'll notice this. Notice how when the adults play a version of a kid, they act a hell of a lot more younger and immature than the original actor did. Especially vice versa.
I enjoyed Jack from Robin Williams. I'll
That's a
say
totally different scenario, though. Jack is
It
a
is-
kid who
it is,
actually
but,
has
like,
the...
yeah.
Yeah, but now this is like a body swap and or an adult version of a kid, right? Like this is a common...
Freaky Friday.
Especially in the 80s. Yeah, between... Basically, Freaky Friday was the first, but in the 80s, you tossed a stone and you had a vice versa, like father like son, the big, and then 13 going on 30 was years later. But that was almost like, you know, another one of those. It was almost like Big Ray Do, from my understanding. But like people were making a big deal out of Big because what's her face sleeps with him in Big too, but he's like 13 years old, and when he's the kid version of the character, he acts a hell of a lot more mature than Tom Hanks does. And you have the same problem with Shazam and that kid in that movie, and just about any other one of these movies where you have that, you know, where the adult kid version will act so much more immature than their counterpart ever did, and it just doesn't fit the movie. Like even like the one that really bothered me was not vice versa, but like father like son, because like even Dudley Moore, they didn't even switch accents, which I thought was stupid too. Does anybody remember that one? Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron? They all came out around the same damn time. Same fucking plots, too. Fathers and sons. They're all Freaky Friday ripoffs. You're right, Mark. But like, yeah.
Yeah, because
Now,
like,
what the
you
hell
think
was
about
that all
Freaky
of a
Friday,
sudden?
what happens when Dad wants to have some fun, you know, in Freaky Friday? I mean, that's pretty. I guess, you know, their movies are innocent; they kind of avoid it, but it's pretty cringy if you think about it. Yeah.
I go back and watch some of these now. Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't watched Freakier Friday yet.
No,
But one thing I was kind of wondering about that, I don't know if maybe none of you seen it, but it's like, well, they're not kid and adult anymore, right? They're both adults. So how are they supposed to pull that off from an acting
well, I think Lindsay has a
perspective?
kid too in this one. Is the point?
Okay, so the kid switches again, or it's like
I think
'Cause I
from what I
wasn't clear on
gathered,
that.
I don't know if all three of them switch places or
There's
if
a
it's
three-way
just,
in the movie.
yeah, I don't know.
I was just
With
about
Lindsay
to
Lohan
say it.
there, you never fucking know.
Yeah, true.
No, I mean the way it's
Even-
set up, it looked
Oh,
like
no.
maybe Lindsay Lohan switches places with her daughter this time, and I don't know if yeah.
because it was like Lindsay and what's her face, Jamie Lee Curtis is like,
Yeah, I haven't
I don't
seen
know
it
how
yet.
to
So if
tell
somebody
her
out there
different. What are
knows
they
in the
doing?
chat, go ahead and tell us. But like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But anyhow, thank you for that.
Has anyone talked about Wednesday? Did you guys seen Wednesday?
Not
haven't
really,
watched
because I
anything
never
of
watched
that.
the first season, and I know people liked it, so I didn't want to shit all over it. Because knowing me, I'm such a Adams purist that I'd fucking. Well, that's not even totally true. I have my specific version of the Addams family that I like, and I know the history of the Addams family, and I appreciate and respect this version for trying to do things, but there's just certain things that turn me off it from the start that I haven't watched it, but I guess that the young crowd loves it, so bless them. But what's the recent controversy, Mark? I did hear there was something going on with it.
I mean, I watched the first couple episodes, and they're pretty good. I mean, they're in line with the last series, but it's been so long. It's been 2 years or 3 years since that came out, the first season.
3, I think, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they
Netflix
lost their momentum,
problem.
and it's a lot of the same, you know, the
I
same
don't know
stuff.
if
So
they
only
have,
I think
though, Mark.
So
Momentum. I don't know if they have. I've seen a lot of youngins talking about it, and that's so clearly a demographic they are trying to land
Well,
with. Maybe for
that's
older
kind
heads
of-
they may have, but the young heads that they definitely got their attention with season 2.
I was going to say,
I
that's
gotta
where I
yell,
never. I was just going to say, that's why I learned not to say a bad word about it, because I think it was Andre was talking about how his daughter was all into the show and shit. So, like, yeah. So, I'm like, oh,
I
little
gotta
girls
yell
like it, then
foul.
just shut up about it.
anytime an actor or an actress fundamentally changes their appearance in the middle of a contract, and like Ellen Page did that, and now we got Jenna Ortega doing that. It's like you're in the middle of a contract. You have you got to honor that contract. You're in the middle of a show. What are they going to do for season 3 now?
she looks
Yeah,
the same
so-
in season 2.
Well, that was my
So-
question: is did she actually have something done, or did she just happen to lose some weight? Because I mean, she also is at that age where she is going to be growing probably one more time, as far as like any more growth spurts, or you know what I mean? Like
I
she's
guess
going
it's
to be
hard to
losing
tell
that baby
from a
fat.
picture that's being circulated around.
I know
but
what you're
mean,
talking about, CC, and like I've talked about this on a few panels now.
substantial change.
Now,
was that
some
makeup
people,
or is
that
that
you just got a couple years
cosmetic
older.
surgery?
yeah. See, that's the thing is like I'm trying to figure it out because like Anna thinks she's had buckling done, I guess, which is a procedure. Some people think she may have started taking Ozempic, which I could see that. But also what I'm seeing is that I think she just had another growth spurt, her final growth spurt.
What the heck
It's just
is
my
buckling?
personal opinion. I guess it's a procedure done with fat to where like, and if you're somebody like her who already has like no fat, I guess that's what it does
Yeah,
to
I
your
mean,
face.
I could use that.
I see what you're saying, Mecha J. Jenna just changed her face. Ellen changed her gender, and etc. But I mean, it's like the character, right? The character in the show
Right,
is meant
right.
to be a teenager, like a
True.
school girl.
But the reason I say that is because it feels like her neck got longer and some other things, and that's like, you know, women when they go through that last kind of, you know, step towards looking like a woman, right? Does that make sense? She's gone from looking like a teenage girl to looking like a woman. Kind of the same as What's-Her-Face did from the Stranger Things. But I think they also, she did admit, I think, to having some work done. I can't confirm or deny on the Jenna Ortega part. I wouldn't be surprised. But if she did, I agree with what you're saying, CC, to where it's like, yeah, she's supposed to be playing this character that's probably meant to be a teenager for a while. Like, and you went and jumped from somebody looking like they were 16, 17 to 26. Like,
Well,
yeah, that's a
Andrea
big...
pulled it off
I
in
would say
Beverly
older
Hills.
than that. She went to 40
Andrea-
pretty quick.
Remember Andrea in Beverly Hills 90210? Wasn't she like 30 when she got that role or something? One of the characters on 90210. But yeah, it really creeped me out. That picture did not look good, and she's such an interesting looking woman too. I mean, you know, perfect for that role with her looks there. That, you know, gothic look, she pulls it off perfectly. So, you know, when you don't recognize someone, then it really creeps you out when you're like, that's you know, that's who it is. I mean, the Jennifer, from I was gonna say, baby, you know, can't put baby in the corner. What's her name? Jennifer, the last name, who had the
Warner.
nose job. You can't
Was it
recognize her
Warner?
anymore. No, Joel. Oh, Jennifer Grey. Jennifer
Gray. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and like you saw her, and you're like, she was in a movie, and I didn't realize. Like, that voice sounds familiar, and you couldn't recognize. And she looked like just any other. When she had even admitted years later, like she'd look like every other, you know, stereotypical Hollywood, you know, actress. And she
That
lost
picture's
her,
all right.
what made her.
And that's the
interesting.
weird thing is like just that one picture, and I think some people were saying that this one might have been manipulated because
I
this
mean,
is
you
from
could just have a bad picture of yourself. That's a much better
yeah.
picture.
See, now this is
But-
from Death of the Unicorn, which would be roughly around the same time, and I don't see it as
She looks fine.
yeah.
Yeah. You could have flattering and unflattering pictures. She definitely does look different.
I see what you're saying. I can't argue that, but again, I'm not going to discount her age, being that she's going from that 18, 19-year-old to that early 20s phase, where, you know, women do tend to have that final step towards womanhood, right? Like,
I
yeah.
assume there's a pressure in Hollywood too, that says, you know, you don't want to be a teenager. You want to, you know, be a middle-aged woman in that sense. You want to be beautiful, but you also want to be taken seriously. That makes sense.
And Napoleon Finor, if I'm saying your name correctly, like, yes, and this is what Anna was talking about, was the certain procedures. And I can believe it, especially in Hollywood, people getting shit done all the time, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm not, like, disputing, I'm not agreeing with at the same time. I'm just, until she says she's had some work done, or somebody at least, you know, close to her supposedly claims that she's had some work done, I'm going to just chalk it up to maybe possibly just either Ozempic or age. Like, one of the two, possibly.
The other issue here is that we're not releasing these shows every year anymore, which is dumb.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about this with One Piece.
I was just going to say One Piece, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you got these actors. The show is doomed to never actually film the whole series, right? They'll never get to the end unless these actors are in their 50s or 60s by the time they finish, right? It's like, there's no way. It's like, enjoy what you get while you get it, I guess, once every 3 years.
Yeah.
If they actually filmed it every
crazy.
year, maybe they could. They could actually do the whole show in 10 or 15 years. It might work.
Well, I don't even know if they ever expected to be able to do it, but it should be,
No.
the live action should be probably like a truncated version of it to where it's what you need, right?
Yeah, well, the first
Like-
season was extremely truncated, and I accept that. But I mean, the only way to even approach something like that, and you still might not finish it, but to do it every year the way they used to.
Right. Yep.
We've got the same thing with Stranger Things season 5. What are they, like 25 now?
Well, and it
Kids
doesn't
have
help that when,
grandkids now.
Exactly. Yeah, they're collecting Social Security and shit, and it doesn't help that, like, yeah, when in between it all, you're waiting all this time, and these people age out, like you were saying, and yeah. Anyway, on the Wednesday front, though, just real quick, because this is what was brought up, was there's a new animated version of Addams Family in the works, but my understanding is, it was brought up in the chat, is that it's not going to be attached with Wednesday, which I see as a mistake. Because, I mean, if you got fire, strike while the fire's hot, and that's coming from somebody who hasn't even checked into this and is not even really sure they would be a fan of this. But I'm not going to deny that they have hit pay dirt with this version of Wednesday, right? Like, this is arguably the most popular the Addams Family has been since the early 90s, when they had the revival with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston and Christina Ricci, right? Like, if anything, you could argue that, like, Christina Ricci kind of made Wednesday her own, and this is kind of piggybacking on that, but luckily Jenna and these guys have kind of made this version their own, for better or worse, because for me, all the things I hear about it, it's like, well, that's not really my Wednesday. But that's all right, whatever. Let it be
was
the
in
Wednesday.
she was in the first season, actually. Christina Ricci.
Yeah, I've heard that. Like, yeah, it was like,
she was good
because I
in
remember
it,
we
yeah.
reported on it, and it was like, oh, that's nice of her. And I was kind of always for Tim Burton taking on the Addams Family, because it made sense. But I think I was more disappointed that he was less hands-on than just a producer or whatever. Because, like, yeah, if I were going to see a Tim Burton Addams Family, I'd just as soon see the movie. You know what I mean?
It's almost like Cobra Kai, too, where they had the Karate Kids Legends, which I thought the first half hour of the movie was okay, or, pretty good, and then it went off the rails. But
well, the movie
you
should have
really
been
only-
Joshua Jackson and the kid, let's be real.
Yeah. Or at least, yeah, then you get, like, Johnny Lawrence at the very end. It was, like, the funniest line in the movie, like the end credits. And it's like, what's Ralph Macchio? And Ralph Macchio, God bless him, but he can't, his karate sucks. I mean, when you watch him do karate, Jackie Chan is up there in age. But it's like, why didn't they tie in, with the success of Cobra Kai? Why didn't they do something with Cobra Kai? It's just,
Well, it's like,
crazy.
if you're not going to, you might as well not have it in there at all, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I've been rewatching Cobra Kai. Actually, I'm on the 6th season. Actually, I watched it with my children, and they've absolutely loved the show. And yeah, we've for the last month and a half, we've gone through seasons 1 through 5. And I don't like to blaze through an entire show in like 1 or 2 days. I want that, actually absorb the show, get invested. So I'd done like a 1-2 episode limit a day every few days, and it worked out. We're at the 6th season. We're at finished 6 episodes, and I will admit I do have a little bit of fonder feelings towards the beginning of season 6. I felt like it kind of dragged on with the initial viewings. I still feel that a little bit, but not as much as I did then. I definitely have more fondness towards those first 5 episodes.
Oh, yeah, now I remember the other thing I was going to say is, like, that's the other thing, is they only do a third or half of what the episodes they used to do in a season of a show anymore.
Yep.
Like, even some of the prestige shows, because weren't the first few seasons of Deadwood even, like, quite a few episodes, if I remember right?
Like, what, 20 episodes?
Something like that. I was going to say, especially if not, like, Entourage, and some of those shows definitely were.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure, like, Weeds and some of those other earlier prestige shows had, like, longer. Like, maybe not some of the bigger ones, but even Game of Thrones, I thought, had quite a few episodes in their first few seasons.
It was still shorter, but like Briscoe County, we're talking about, shows that got canceled too soon. 1 season, but I think there's 27 episodes of Briscoe.
Right.
I started watching that again too. And,
Well,
that'd be like 3 or 4 seasons of a modern show.
Right.
now.
Well, and that used to be the magic number, right? You wanted to get past that 4th season into the 5th season, because then you guaranteed 100 episodes for syndication. And that added a whole new life to your show. And not only that, endless paychecks for your, all the people involved usually. So, like, this makes no sense, because, I mean, even in a streaming world, like, to me, it makes no, like, there's no real incentive for me to get into Wednesday Now or some of these other shows, because, like you just said, I could sit down and watch 5 seasons of one of these new shows, and it's like 1 season of one of these old shows. Like, I've been trying to rewatch or watch all of, like, Seinfeld and stuff, and it's like, Jesus, how many episodes are there in a season? Crying out loud.
There's a gazillion other than the first season.
It's really ironic that shows that had a lot more episodes versus shows nowadays, which have a lot less episodes. The shows now feel like they drag on more with nothing happening versus the shows that had a lot more episodes and things are always happening. But yet these newer shows with the less episodes, a lot of them feel longer because of how much they drag on with nothing happening. It's really funny how that
Well,
happens.
it's because they
You have
drag
less
out
episodes and yet it feels more drawn out.
because they got less storylines going on, and so they have to, and because generally they're concentrating on one specific character. Because that was a thing about a TV show back in the day, unless it was like specifically like one thing. Like it generally found a way to bring in other characters, or you had bottle episodes. And we talked about this early on with some of these shows we're doing this, especially Star Trek. Because I remember talking a lot about this with Discovery, because Discovery was another one that they started getting less and less episodes every season. It's like, shit, they used to pump out Star Trek like nobody's business, right? Like, and you would get, even the bottle episodes, as we would call them, would be good ones. Some of the most famous ones. You know, like one of my favorite ones is where I keep forgetting the name of it, but they get stuck in this time loop. And it keeps revolving around this poker game. And it has to be one of the most cheapest episodes that they probably ever made of Star Trek. But it's also one of the most entertaining ones because it's just an interesting idea because they get stuck in this time loop and it takes them a little bit to figure it out and how they figure out how to get out of it and all this stuff. Yeah.
It's actually a great example because you got the streaming format and the old TV format, right? And the TV format was very strict. You had to write that script to like an exact number of minutes and seconds. And you had commercial breaks at exact moments. You had to edit that show to the second. So an episode like that, which you're talking about where they go through the time loops were constructed for the commercial breaks, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And with
they broke it up into 5
there's-
acts or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no need for that old 5-act, 6-act design anymore. They can make the episode as long or as short as they want, and they can put whatever the heck they want in it. So it's just like it's perfect for those long shots where people are just walking slowly down a hallway.
Yeah.
You know
what I love about this though
there's
is
no
we had
oversight.
at least a half, well, I wouldn't say half a dozen, but there's 3-4 people in the chat already threw the name out there, and they knew it off the top of their head. Can anybody tell me a name of a Discovery episode?
Shit,
Or Strange
shit
New
on
Worlds
TV.
episodes? Yeah.
What was? The
I'll go
first
even better.
episode of this-
Tell me a
this
Lower
race
Decks
recall?
episode. I bet you can't.
I should be able to, but I can't try to. block
You,
out
of
my
all
mind.
people, should, because you catalog
I've
everything.
watched- I catalog everything, and I'll start and Strange Nude Worms, and
This
oh my God,
motherfucker's
but-
Rain Man. He's probably got notebooks dating back to like 1972 with shit in him. Like, I watched Mr. Rogers today. Then I watched.
Well, you did the same thing.
Or
Tom, when
was
you
the
made
episode
VHS
with blah, 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 blah.
tapes. Didn't you write
You're
down
not
in a
wrong.
notebook
I would
what-
actually
what was
write
on
out
the
my fucking
videotape?
schedule, dude. Like, I would know when certain movies were on, so I could try to either if I would have to record them or if I could actually just watch them live and record them. Well, I had the whole thing figured out through, Cinemax and all the other cable channels and stuff that I was going through. Like, what times I could watch. Yes, you're not wrong. I basically made my own fucking TV guide off the TV guide.
Did you have a TiVo? Did you love TiVo? TiVo was the best.
Well,
for
yeah,
that
when
for-
that came in, like
Oh, I
that
love
was
TiVo. The guide
like
on that
Dish
was so
Network days
awesome.
and stuff. So like, yeah, I
Oh.
mean that's when I had like
But
stars
recording.
and stuff,
And
and
I
I would
actually
set
had
it
a,
to record Ash versus Evil Dead.
I had the TiVo that had a built-in DVD burner, which was phenomenal. So you could record the shows to the hard drive and then burn it to DVD. Hollywood put the kibosh on that unit pretty quick, and of course it was only SD. But yeah, getting back to all these new shows. The other thing is I love the old anthology. The old Star Trek. Someone mentioned DS9 and Voyager and Enterprise. They all went to this one overarching arc for a season, and most modern shows do that. So the problem is you don't get these, one-off shows. You could I'm rewatching Three's Company. I don't know why I started watching it, but I've been watching it. And actually, Lonnie Anderson was on the episode I watched on last night. She was a flight attendant, and it was kind of, she had just passed away last week. And yeah, you just put it on for a half hour, but it's just one show, in there. You just enjoy it. You don't need to know anything else about it. And
That's why I
miss
like
that on
about
TV.
Cheers and Seinfeld. Yeah,
Yeah, you can just watch it. You don't have to be invested in the previous 8 episodes, and it gets boring too. I mean, it's just like the TV show Blue Sky, or about his detective show with probably 2 of the most gorgeous looking female detectives, and they tried to do an experiment the last season where they actually had the overarching season big bad, and then they were solving crimes and like doing like small like Magnum PI or whatever, during the episode, I went to my wife because we were watching it together. I'm like, they just wrapped up a storyline in one episode. This was so nice. I mean, it was great. So that's a big problem with modern TV, not
Modern
having
entertainment, period.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, I was reading, we were reading old comics for Klobby's Comic Shop, and we read 2 issues, and each individual issue of 21 pages. So much happened in each individual issue, even though there's connective tissue, and yet stuff happened in their own individual issues. I was like, holy crud. It's such a like whiplash when you go to that and then you read like stuff that comes out now, and then you're like, just the way like stuff is paced out, it's like, holy crud. It's like I wasn't ready for that because we've gotten so used to the format of everything so much slower, and I do miss that.
Yeah.
I do miss that type of writing in all forms of entertainment. I want us to have stuff where things happen every issue, episode, yada yada. We need that because it is my interest in checking out new shows has lessened. Not even because of like, granted, I know the message doesn't help, even though it seems like we're starting to teeter away towards that bit by bit. But just even if that completely phases out, that's like, yeah, that's great. However, we still have a problem with the way these shows are being written, with the way they drag out. That's still a problem too, and we still need to have it be good. And once again, time and place for everything. There's shows where I feel like that works for, but just because it works for some doesn't mean we should automatically apply it to all. And I would love to have shows like that again. Also, be nice if we had more episodic television again. Those are clearly very rare nowadays too.
Well, it's almost the reverse issue that we used to have, right? Used to have 24 episodes in a season, and yeah, there was always going to be usually a few duds. That's okay. Some of them were still fun to watch, right? And some really great episodes. Now it's like you have 3 or 4 episodes, and they're stretching it out into 8 episodes, right? Because there is still a little bit of an expectation of that 8 episode order. But that's why you get the long drawn out shots and things that just there's no brevity to the scenes, right? Because they have less than 8 episodes of content. Where it used to be, they had 18 episodes, but they drew it out to 24, so a few scripts that maybe shouldn't have gotten filmed got filmed, but that's okay. And that was the other aspect to that too, right? So when they're filming it week to week like they used to, they could actually adapt as the season went on, right? If the fans were not responding to something, they could actually say, "Hey, no, we're not doing this correctly. Let's fix this up." Now you're filming the whole season, and you're releasing
like a movie, basically. Yeah.
So the Fonz would have never happened on Happy Days, maybe. Then?
Exactly. Yeah, we brought that up before.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have Steve Urkels. You wouldn't have Fonz's. There's a lot of these things that. I mean, I'm surprised they managed to work Baby Yoda the way they did, because I'm pretty sure they were caught off guard with that whole thing, and that, explains why there was no merchandise for at least 90 days.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Because I don't think they were prepared. Yeah. Well, and I think also, like, my theory, I think, is got to be correct at this point, because it's not like Disney. I'm sure they wanted to merchandise the hell out of it, but at that point, I think all the merchandisers had, like, they had cold feet because of what had happened with the Rise of Palpatine. And they were like, no, thank you. We're not going to get duped again. And then they got caught off guard with that one.
Yeah, we still got warehouses of Rose Tico figures.
Yeah. And, Bobo Frick or whatever the fuck his name is. So, yeah. Or Mork and Mindy for that matter, yeah. Well, I mean, that might have still happened because that was a spin-off, but, spin-offs are plausible, but...
So Chuck Cunningham is alive in an alternative universe, alive and well, where Fonzie
got recast and then killed off. Yeah. Same thing with the daughter on Family Matters, but So Final Smash says just got tickets for Team NT 1990 re-release this weekend. Nice, first time ever on the big screen. Awesome. It's the second best comic book movie ever, in my opinion. Well, I agree with you for the most part, although I'd probably say it's the first in some days, depending on what day you ask me. But Superman is up there, of course. I agree with you. That's probably the one you're talking about. But, I want to see it this Friday, if I can afford it. We'll see if that happens or not. So hopefully I can talk a little bit about the special behind-the-scenes thing that they're adding to it in the intro. With that being said, Davina Duckworth is in the house, and she says Elmore Leonard wrote Mr. Majestic. Oh, I did not know that. I'll have to definitely check that out. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch it in time for tonight, but if you have the time to check it out tonight, Nick is going to be talking about it over on Rumble. Isn't that right? With the boys on the return of Toxic Tuesday.
Oh, joy. Toxic Tuesday is back in 1 hour, and we're going full-on homoerotic with Charles Bronson for the next 3 weeks, starting with Mr. Majestic tonight. I have missed this show. It's been about, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, Mark?
I miss getting my gay on with you.
Yeah, I feel a little straighter since we last did these shows. So I'm like, I gotta reverse course here. I feel like something doesn't feel right when I feel straighter all of a sudden. So I feel like
there's a good line about eating sausage in the beginning of that movie. So
yeah, yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun time, and it's what, as I said, in case you guys miss it, next 3 weeks of Charles Bronson, because tonight's Majestic. Next week's The Mechanic. The week after that will be Death Wish 4. So, yeah, lube up and be ready to rumble.
All right. Well, check it out.
Oh, and go sub to Bonded by Metal if you haven't as well.
There you go. Do that, too. Mark, anything coming up besides this weekend, I think?
Obviously, Toxic Tuesday. Looking forward to that. And still working on the slideshow, but I'll be done. I always finish just in time. And then, of course, we'll finish covering Terrificon, or maybe we'll do another episode. We got so many pictures and things to go through for that show in Connecticut. And if you got anyone's near Connecticut, put it on your calendar for next year. Usually it's the second week in August, and go to the casino. You don't have to gamble, but you can get some great pizza up there, Pepe's Pizza, New Haven style pizza, and it's. I wish I should go for more than one day, because the panels there are phenomenal, and they had a Turtles panel. Tom, oh God, I wish you were closer. You would have loved to go to that with all the all the actors that we were talking about, Ernie Reyes Jr., etc. All the guys in the turtle suit, and Shredder was there too, and they had a panel on the Turtles on Sunday, and I'm like, oh, I had to go to a family picnic, and I missed out on that, but yeah, it's a great show. It's Terrificon, so check that out, and we'll be back for Sunday Night Geekery at 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. Eastern, talking Terrificon.
Well, that's terrific. And CC, you still working on your new channel and your old channel and your secondary channel and your thirdary channel and your tertiary channel, or whatever channel?
Oh yeah, no. It's a constant grind. Finding new things to grind on, right? I want to get playlists a little more active, so I'm like, maybe I should add pinned comments to all my videos, directing people to playlists of other karaoke songs they might like. I only have about several hundred videos I have to click on, and so I'm grinding on that. But I think first I can make something to eat because I'm hungry.
I hear
so that's
you,
priority
buddy.
number one is food. And then I get back to the grind. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I'm up to. Food.
All right, so check into Toxic Tuesday and take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you very soon. See you on the morning show, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Cute kitty.